What you say?
Keep up.
That's right.
Gotta keep up.
Shit, you gotta keep up.
Gotta keep up.
Yeah.
Rico. Dad and a hubby, man. An international artist and a family, man. Asia. She's the youngest seed. Loves horses and acting, plus the girl can sing. Wifey and the bonus mom. Always saving lives and baking for fun. Keep up. Keep.
Yeah.
Keep up.
Keep up.
Keep up.
Why am I acting like y'all already know this?
Keep up.
If y'all ain't already, you better be.
Keeping up with the Nevotions.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Keeping Up with the Nevotions 9119. We are back. As always, we truly appreciate the love and support and you joining in with us on our episodes every month. Today, we have a very special episode to share with you, one that is really near and dear to both of us.
Today we want to tell you, yes you, how you can save a life. Some of you have heard about an organization called Be The Match, and others might not know who they are and what they do. Today, we are going to change all of that.
Yes, Be The Match is an organization that saves lives, and you all today can learn how you can be a part of that. I'm proud to say that I have worked for Be The Match for the last 4 years. So Be The Match is also known, some of you may have heard of this other name that they're referred to by, is the National Marrow Donor Program. So they facilitate bone marrow transplants across the world.
That's right. Both my wife and I have been blessed this past year to be able to help in the transplant process by becoming couriers, picking up, and delivering the product to patients in need. And as you mentioned earlier, you too can be involved and save lives. And let's introduce you to our special guest today to tell you more.
Yes, I'm so excited. We have a special guest today to talk a little bit more about who the Be The Match is and how you can get involved. So our special guest today is Clifford Ackerman. He is our patient and lead liaison at Be The Match. He has and continues to do some amazing work with our organization, and he has a very, very amazing, truly inspiring story to tell you and why June is such a special month for him. For our Code 9 in the Streets portion of our episode today, we have Clifford Ackerman. All right, I'm so excited today to introduce, we have Clifford Ackerman here. He is our patient and lead liaison here at Be The Match, and also has an amazing story to share with you all today. Clifford, thank you so much for being here today. Why don't you tell everybody who is watching a little bit more about you and kind of what brought you to Be The Match?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks so much, Rico and Jackie, for inviting me to the show. This is amazing to share this with everybody that's listening. So it's really interesting. So at about the age of 35, I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Never really in the hospital, well, except when I was born, but not much after that. I was pretty healthy, right? And then I was working in the restaurant business, just doing my thing, and I had some leg pains. And so I was going to chiropractors. And I thought, okay, they're going to take care of that. But kind of long story short is it didn't help. It got worse and worse and worse. And then finally, I asked for like not just an X-ray, but like a little bit further, like an MRI. Now, this was back in 1998. Okay. When I was first diagnosed. We were almost still back on fax machines back then. Even. So there wasn't all the state of the art, like, PET scans and all these other things. We did get an MRI, and we were able to see, and then right away the chiropractor saw that there was something there that shouldn't be there. That's what he kept telling me. He never really could say the word cancer. He never said cancer, so to speak. So anyway, I ended up getting a biopsy, and they were able to find out that this was this follicular non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It was stage 4 out of 4, so it was pretty more serious. It was pretty serious. So we had to start chemotherapy right away, and I did chemotherapy. I did radiation, and also almost at the same time, at one point, I was doing all 3 some monoclonal therapy. So really targeted chemo that goes right to the cells, and so it ended up. I didn't respond very well, so to speak. I wasn't in remission, and it actually metastasized and spread.
Oh.
And so I ended up having to get my spleen taken out, and then it came back again, like a third time, so to speak. After they
Okay.
took it out. Right? And then, so they said, yeah, we need to really look at some cellular therapy, the chemo and all that's not working. And so they naturally they test your family, siblings.
Hmm.
And so I was lucky. I was pretty blessed. I have two sisters and a fraternal twin. I have a twin sister,
Okay.
right? Fraternal twin sister, but nobody matched. Nobody matched, Jackie. Enrico. So that's really kind of the odds on that are like 1 out of 4 family members may match a patient.
Hmm.
So I had to go down to MD Anderson in Houston and go through like a 2 or 3 day evaluation and go through that. They were searching for the donor. And then unfortunately, they found out that I had a mass inside my heart. And I
Okay.
had to go back up to North Texas, where I live, and get some emergency heart surgery and take that out. They thought it would cause a blood clot in my brain and my lung or something like that.
Hmm.
So they continued the search on. Yeah, I was pretty blessed, pretty special, right? Pretty
Yeah.
special.
Quite a journey.
Right. And so then I was able to get the surgery, do 2 rounds of chemo, like 2 months of a cycle, 2 cycles, 2 months in the hospital, and then I went right to transplant in the summer of 2000, which is why this is an incredible time for us to be talking about this. Because it's next month in a couple days is my 21st anniversary of receiving those incredible blood stem cells from my blood brother.
Yeah.
My blood brothers.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we ended up going down there. I had the transplant. Everything was okay. I had to have a couple hernia repairs. I've had 2 already because of the surgery from the taking out the tumors in my spleen. So they cut me open once, then they did a hernia repair. 8 years later, they had to do another hernia repair. I've had my spleen taken out, my gallbladder taken out. But I'm telling you, I'm really blessed. I'm really
Yeah.
blessed. So I ended up coming home, and I was in a clinical trial for refractory non-Hodgkin's, but basically using a non-myeloablative or a reduced intensity, really a reduced intensity. And now that's pretty much a protocol for a lot of transplants, where it's even done almost more of an outpatient. You receive your cells, you graft for a couple days in the hospital, and then you have to hang around for about 100 days. So I
Wow.
was in a clinical trial. And then I wanted to give back, and I realized on the floor that we were at, I met a lot of great people and friends and
Hmm.
families and other cohorts, patients, and realized that there were a lot of people that were ethically diverse. There were some African Americans and Hispanics and even multi-race and Asians that were never finding their matches. And so I wanted to kind of give back, and I started volunteering at the local hospital where I live, which was Baylor University Medical Center, a big hospital downtown. And I started volunteering there. And then for about 4 years. And then they offered me a position to join that donor center and help do recruitment within the community. And it's been almost 17 years since now with me.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
That's amazing.
That is. It's interesting that you bring that up about joining as a volunteer and then getting that role. Can you tell us a little more about that role?
My volunteer role.
Your role now.
Oh, my role
Yes.
now. Yep. So my role now is I am a patient and lead liaison, which means that when families and patients reach out to be the match and want to bring awareness, or they're trying to find matches, we can actually engage with these families and then provide opportunities for them to do recruitment in the community, to help raise funds for our Be the Match Foundation. We set up recruitment events. Of course, it's a lot of virtual now with COVID, but we're doing live events, and it's amazing. We've been able to add thousands and thousands of donors, and I did meet my donor 3 years after my transplant and have my blood brother. I just
That's
want to
awesome.
put that in. So
Wow.
yeah, so my role now has been, but I was a recruiter to start off. Then I was a relationship team. So I work with the organizations and develop partnerships, like with the NMA, which is a African American physicians group, and different. We do Sigma Gamma Rho, and a lot of different organizations where we have kind of corporate or national partnerships with them.
Awesome. So if, you know, you talked about volunteering and now that, you know, you're on, you work with Be the Match and we love you, you do amazing work. How can other people get involved if they're watching this and they want to do something to help, to give back, to be involved? What are some options for people?
Yeah. Well, you know, Jackie, it's so easy. I'm glad you asked that, because the thing is, they can go to bethematch.org, and there's a way to get involved. They can, you know, grow the registry. We have a grow the registry sheet. They can fill out a sheet, and they can simply say that they want to bring awareness and inform their community. They can get their corporation. They can get their church involved if they know any searching patients. And even if they don't, if they're working, if they have friends and family in their community, maybe they're sickle cell patients and they want to help them and bring awareness, they could do that. But, you know, they can also join with the link, like we know with, you know, incredible work you're doing, and, you know, they text RICO to 61474. So we have simple ways for people to join. They get a kit mailed to their house. It's a simple kind of buccal swab kit, right? They get it to their house. They swab their cheeks, meaning that they swallow and just brush the inside of their cheek, put it in a kit, mail it away. It's that simple. Then they can become a life-saving member of the registry, and they can see if they're ever needed down the road. We really need committed, willing, and available members of these registries. We never know if you're going to be needed, but you could be that life-saving match for someone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know there's like kind of that sweet spot range or age of people, right? That is typically called to be a donor. Some young to be a donor right now, or maybe too old to be considered a donor. What are some other options or ways people could get involved?
I'll tell you. So yeah, so the guidelines, I'll tell you this. There's about 50 registries in the world, right? And they all have guidelines. So some of them, ours is, you need to be between the age of 18 and 44. You need to be able to meet our health guidelines. And again, you need to be willing, committed, and available for anyone that you match, right? And so for some people, even anywhere in the world, even like the UK and Canada, they're actually 17 and 18 to 30, 35. At 30, 35, that's that you were saying sweet spot. That's the age range. And really what it is that doctors worldwide found that the younger members that join these registries worldwide provide a better outcome. So basically, the patient responds better when it's a young member or donor. So even those registries, so it's kind of like you can join as a member. Then later in life, you can actually, you know, maybe become a contributor and make a gift to the registry. And that what that does is it helps grow the registry by adding people. We do phenomenal, like incredible research, 200 research studies a year. We have patient financial assistance to help them through this journey. And we also have donor. Okay, so you never know where you're at, but it may be that, you know, you can't donate or become a member, but you can volunteer, you know, or you can just help us bring awareness by bringing this awareness and informing your community, your church, you know, at your job. People become couriers and they can bring cells, you know, across the country or internationally. So there's lots of ways to get involved. We have a life-saving mission. And I know it would be the match would like to say that, you know, this is a movement that we're doing to inspire people to join the registry, but we're a community transplanting hope and a cure. So you could be an advocate and help us through our legislative part. So there's so many ways people can help be the match by helping people in their community and save more lives.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Because I just wanted to make sure that people knew that it's not just, you know, obviously we want people to join the registry. We need people to join the registry, especially from, you know, an ethnically diverse background. We really need, we have patients in need, like, as you mentioned, that just aren't able to find those matches. So, but I also wanted to make sure that there's other ways to, like you said, help us on our mission of saving lives every day. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for this portion of your time with us, Clifford. This has been great. Thank you for sharing your story. What an amazing, beautiful outcome of that story and your journey. We appreciate that. But we're not done with you. We're not done with you yet. So don't go too far. We have some our Q&A portion with you. We have some some questions that we want to help get your help with answering. So we'll be back with you in just a
Yeah,
couple minutes.
I'm sticking around. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks so much, Rico and Jackie.
Thank you.
What a great interview. He's such an inspiration. And as my wife said, we are not done with Clifford.
Nope.
Not quite yet. So stay tuned as he answers some common questions about Be the Match, diversity, and donating.
Yes. All right, so we are moving on to our video of the month portion of our episode. So this video of the month, we have a question for you. We have a question for all of you. If you had 200 billion, would you give some away? Let's see what you have to say after watching this video. Take a look.
Let me ask you, if you had 200 billion, would you give some away? That's 200 billion with a B. Today, tomorrow, forever. Would you give some away? Would you give some to her? To them? To him? Yep, he could use some too. You'd be surprised. Would she sleep better at night? Would you? Would it make his day, his week, his life? Would it make this family whole? If just a little could make grandma dance, would you give some away? If it could help him dream, help her walk, help her run, get him to graduation and beyond, or allow a kid to just be a kid, would you give some away? So, what do you say? You do have 200 billion. Share the wealth.
That's such a powerful video. A great reminder we all have so much to give. And it doesn't take a lot to save a life. You can find out more about joining the registry and other ways you can be involved by going to btm.org.
btm.org. Yes. I love that video. It's such a great way and such a short, impactful way to show, again, like you said, how we can give back. So we've also talked a little bit about diversity on the registry as well. So we're going to get a little bit more into that in our Q&A portion with Clifford again. But for our meme of our portion of our episode today, we wanted to share this graphic of the likelihood of finding a match on the registry based on your ethnicity. So take a look.
What the meme is this?
Again, so powerful, tough to look at as it, the realization it brings for our diverse patient population, but it's something that people really need to see and understand. And I think when you see it as a graphic, it just brings those numbers really to life. So this is why it's so important to join the registry, especially if you are a diverse background. Patients really need you.
Okay, so let's jump into our final section, the Q&A with Clifford.
Let's do it. All right, Clifford, we are back. Thanks for sticking around for the Q&A portion of our show. Are you ready for some questions?
Oh, I am. Yes, this is my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
All right. Yes. Okay. So the first question, and I think you probably get this all the time with the work that you do, but this is a very common question around what is the donation? So if you're on the registry and you're called to action, you're called to donate, what does that look like? There's a lot of nervousness around, is it going to hurt? Am I going to be down for a couple of days? What does that look like?
No, yeah, I'm glad you asked that, for the fact that, a big thing with being a match is adding committed, willing, and available donors, right? So we know that some people may never, ever, 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 ever donate blood, right? They hate needles, and that's fine. There's other ways to help us. But we want to make sure that people that are going to join and become a member are aware of this. So what happens is this kind of the journey. So they join with your RICO link, right? And then if they're ever needed, we bring them in and we're going to do some additional testing, right? And that additional testing is basically tubes of blood, like from the doctor's office, just tubes of blood. And then we'll determine if they're the best match for that patient or not. So in about a month or so, they'll know. If they are the best match, then they'll go on to the next step. So there's basically steps and stages that may take 4 to 5 hours a day, but it's spread over 4 to 6 weeks. So it's not like you have to take a whole week off. It's just basically, we know that you're going to have to drive there. There's parking. You have to maybe, when you go to the doctor's office, you're probably, they never take you right when your appointment time is set, right? So there maybe a little wait, and then you got to drive back. So that's why we think about maybe 4 to 5 hours. It all depends on where you live.
Okay.
So we know that. And then if you pass, then you'll have a physical. If you pass that physical, it's about a $4,000 physical, a no cost. Let me just tell you this: none of this is out of pocket expense for any donor. Some people say, "Oh, is it free?" It's not necessarily free because someone's paying for it, the
Right.
patient's insurance or be the match. But absolutely, it's no cost to the donor, no out of pocket expense. We even compensate them for their mileage, tolls, parking, if they need daycare, even pet care. If y'all have fur babies out there, right?
We do.
Hourly wage. I mean, we even have something where you say, hey, I have some babies. We'll even fly in their mom so they can watch the baby so that we can, take care of them and work with the donors. So we will try to take care of every barrier that may come across. We're really trying to and we are going to try to ensure that this is a safe and rewarding experience for the
Right.
donors. So we're entrusted to operate the U.S. registry.
Mhm.
We're not a government agency, and we to entrust that we actually issue a 9-digit donor number. Well, you
Oh.
see that? Okay,
Hold on.
9-digit number, and they that 9-digit number is how we can ensure the trust within the public. So we don't give any information out. Okay.
Sure.
Right.
So I kind of like that journey of the donor. So it is no out-of-pocket expense. I mean, I even encourage people, talk to your family doctors.
Mhm.
They should know about this. I mean, this is a great way to help, save more Black lives, all kinds of lives. We desperately need multi-race people that are ethnically diverse. The registry is about half Caucasian, to be honest, and
Yeah.
the rest are all single digits. So the likelihood of finding a match for ethnically diverse, because the lack of involvement is decreased.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wow.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And I know we have a really great video here, and we'll show that in just a second here, the Derek McCartney's donor story, which is great. He's a football player who was called to action, and he talks a little bit about his journey in the process. So we'll go to that video now.
Great.
And the grandson of Bill McCartney gives his grandpa something to smile about.
His resume is incredible. He earned his pre-med undergraduate degree in 3 years. He's on pace to get his master's this December. In 2016, he donated bone marrow to help save a cancer patient's life, and the list of good works goes on and on.
I grew up in Westminster, Colorado. I feel like it's part of who I am to try to do things for others just because of, people who raised me, like my mom and my grandma. When I got here at CU, my coach encouraged all of us to sign up, and I just kind of did it. I remember getting the call, and I just remember looking down at the phone and seeing a number I didn't know, and I was like, probably won't answer this. I usually just let those go to voicemail, but for some reason I decided to answer it. And when I did, be the match on the phone, they told me I was a 10 out of 10 match with somebody, and I had an opportunity to help them. And they asked me if I would honor the commitment I signed up for. And I never really thought twice. I just kind of honored it because that's just kind of how I was raised as well. And I'm really glad it happened the way it did.
I think the thing that impressed me the most about him was he did not hesitate. It was not, I need to think about this. It was, I can help someone else, I'm gonna do it. When Derek was donating, I was lucky enough to be there. I just don't really have words to describe. When your son chooses to help someone else like that is just an amazing thing.
The donation itself, I had some aches and pains in some nights, and I just had to sit down for 5 hours and just relax. So it really worked out, and I'm just glad I got to be part of it.
The man of the hour. How's it going?
Pretty good.
It's good to see you.
Oh man, it's really nice to meet you. Doing all right?
I really am thankful that I got to be part of this, and and that John gets to now live his life a little better than he was going to, and I think that makes everything worth it. I would tell people who have signed up for the registry to really honor the commitment you do when you sign up, because it makes more of a difference in someone else's life than it does in yours. And the small like little aches and pains you may go through, they're just totally worth it. For someone else to be able to have like a whole second chance in life really is amazing. And so I would really encourage people to do that.
Man, that was inspiring, wasn't that?
Yes, such a great video. Such a great video.
Great video.
And we need more people like him to step up. First, just join the registry and step up to the plate when called. But yes, amazing story. Great young man.
But Jackie, you know what I love with that also? How proud his mom was. How proud his mom was of him. And that getting support of the family that
That's
they
important.
are supporting our donors that are going through this, because they may be college age. They may be somewhere. If we need the family to support, we have to almost dispel the myths on some of that. Obviously, Derek and her mom were informed and aware, but sometimes we have to dispel those myths. People think, oh, I saw it on Grey's Anatomy and House and ER and that movie with Will Smith. What was that movie, Rico? 7 Pounds. I think we were talking about that earlier, right? 7 pounds. So, I mean, you have to dispel the myths. It's not what you see on TV, y'all. There's a little thing called drama, and drama trumps that. I mean, just think about this. I mean, think about that person you love the most. And if you receive that call that they, were diagnosed with a blood cancer and needed an unrelated donor, would you want someone to help? Because 70% of the time you won't match in your family. Most people would say yes. We would want to save our loved one. So we need to think about giving back, about, helping out others. It's been an incredible year for us.
Yes.
We need to be more compassionate, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that. All right. That brings us to our second question.
Yes.
What would you say is our biggest opportunity with diverse communities?
Well, it's a good question. We've been doing this for 34 years. The thing is that a lot of people don't know about it, maybe because it's not on their radar, right? There's so many things going out there in the world. Like, you can be, going out with your family, watching a football game, baseball game, this and that. But, getting involved in volunteering and being altruistic, it's kind of weird. It's kind of, challenging. There's so much going on. But most people don't know what families are going through when it's pediatric cancer, when it's an adult. It has to really touch you. It has to touch your heart like a loved one, not someone at work, someone in your church, that loved one. So we really have to kind of you may have seen us at your college, at your church, at your work, but you think, oh, Be the Match Registry. I know it's a dating service, right? So we have to tell people about it. But a lot of it's within those communities, right, Rico? It's in those communities where it may be a lack of trust for the government, for medical. We know what's happened in the past, and thank God now we have people that are in almost every sector of life, as far as maybe even African American lawyers and doctors and nurses and congressmen, presidents. So we're getting better. It's not where it's totally not where it needs to be, but things are getting better as far as with this and medical and bringing these opportunities and trying to have more equity, and inclusion, so to speak. But I think that's part of it. And maybe the next generation that are looking at this and saying, like, why are so many people dying from our ancestry or heritage? And it's a lack of awareness of being involved. And I think they want to change that. Your audience, I know, wants to change that.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I mean, I'm glad you ended it like that, because we have a video that really touches on this very well. A race against time.
This is bigger than numbers. It's about connecting donors with patients like me. And when everyone joins our fight against blood cancer, your race, my race, can experience what we all deserve. Life.
Again, such a powerful video.
and it was, 30 seconds to a minute long, but just really hits home of where the need is from a diversity perspective, and really what we're asking, this call to action today is really about, go to the Be the Match website, look at look to join the registry. If the registry isn't where you want to evolve, how can you help reach your different communities, bringing more awareness to Be the Match and saving lives every day. So, all right. Well, I think that brings the Q&A portion here to a close. Thank you again, Clifford, for being here, answering our questions, telling us more about your story. This has been an amazing episode. And we just really, again, thank you for your time today.
Yeah. I just wanted to say one thing. We saw that video with Thor, and he was saying life, right?
Yeah.
Life. And that's the thing. We have a movement. And, it's not just helping, but we really have a movement that we want to get people involved and aware that they can help save more lives. It's not just, let's say, helping this patient and that patient. It is about that, but it's about this incredible Be the Match movement that we are inspiring people to get engaged and help others. And that you never know if this is going to be someone that you know and love that's going to need this. Right.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you bringing this awareness to everyone.
Thank you. And we appreciate you as well.
Thank you so much, Rico.
What an amazing episode. I really am proud to say I work for this organization. And again, we've been blessed to be couriers for the past year or so. Just to have a more hands-on role in saving lives this past year has been truly a gift, one that I know and I know Rico will never take for granted. So again, we want to thank Clifford for taking time to sit down with us and share his story and the amazing work he does with Be the Match, and really how you too can be involved and save a life, just like someone did for Clifford.
Thank you all again for being here, and check out the website to learn more about Be the Match and joining the registry.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next month. Take care.
There are 2 ways to help save a life with a blood stem cell donation. For 80% of matches, the process is similar to donating blood or plasma. You'll get a few shots to boost the amount of blood stem cells in your body, then you'll come in for a blood draw. For 20% of matches, donors need to provide stem cells from bone marrow, which is taken from your hip. This is done with anesthesia, so you won't feel any pain during it. With both ways, Be the Match covers all costs. There are 2 ways to donate for one goal we all share. Your donation counts.